Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your Monday night Talking Town Extra Time show. The final word on the weekend's action, and what a weekend it was. 3-0, not out of second gear, complete domination. Looking forward to handing the reins over to you guys and girls in the live chat with the live link, and of course, getting the thoughts and opinions of our two contributors this evening. The live chat is absolutely kicking it off. Good evening, Chloe Land. Good evening, Adi. Hope you are all well. Matt Stannard, hope everyone is good. The patron saint of tickets is now the patron saint of tracksuits. If you're wondering what Matt is talking about, more on that to come in just a moment. It is an exciting development. You may not have seen it. I don't know where he's posted it. I know he's posted it in our Discord chat. If you're a YouTube or Ko-Fi member, you would have seen it because you're part of that Discord chat. But first, before I go ahead and go any more into what Matt Stannard there has just sort of briefly mentioned, the FCA Football Content Awards, you were so kind enough to send us there last year as finalists. We want to be there once again. So the details are on the screen. There is a link in the chat on how you can vote for us to be finalists for this year's FCA. Just hide the bloody cookies. I hate that. I hate that website. Hate it. But voting is now live. You can vote via the website, via Instagram, via Twitter. I believe you can actually do all of them. So you could technically vote more than once. I think. I don't know. I haven't checked into that. I do not know. But certainly you can via Twitter, Instagram, or their website. I am asking this year, my friends, if you could vote Talking Town as best podcast EFL, and in the best influencer category, I don't think anybody else deserves it more so than the patron saint of tickets and now the patron saint of tracksuits. So for best influencer, be sure to put Richard Moss. And here he is to tell us more on what we are talking about.
Patron saint of training tops.
Training tops, tracksuits, polo tops, whatever it might be. What is it about?
We'll start with training tops and we will see where we go. So, obviously, off the back of George Edmondson, Martin, everybody loved it, didn't he? Fridge buying the kit for the disability team. He said it's like we're a community now. We're like the women's team, the first team, the disability team. And on here, right? One club, one community. You've got it at the top of the screen. And that's what we are all about on here. And no matter what anybody says on Twitter, you know, we've done some great things since we started this platform, right? So we were chatting, weren't we? And we said about raising some money for some sort of training tops and seeing. So I thought, right, dropped it in the Discord chat. 200 quid straight away from. I'm not going to name him because I don't want to. It doesn't matter if you donate 200 quid. It don't matter if you donate 2 quid, right? It all adds up. But so far, Martin, we've been going probably. It's 8:30 now. 6 o'clock probably tonight. 2.5 hours, 815 quid we've raised so far.
How much?
So 815. So what I want to do is the show will probably go an hour and a quarter tonight. I want to hit £1,000 by the end of tonight's show. So when I come off here, I will message you my bank details. You can drop them in the chat. That's all people are doing there. Just do a bank transfer, put your name on it. Bosh, it's done. If you're on Twitter, you can direct message me. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I've dropped it on all the Facebook accounts, Martin. It's on my Instagram. It's on my Twitter. So there's several people who've said, obviously it's not payday yet, so they're going to donate at the end of the month, which is great. So we're just going to keep it running and we'll see how much we can get. Lee's going to get back to me tomorrow, Lee Smith, about how much training tops will be. But look, at the minute, we've got 815 quid. We've been going 2 hours. Look what we've done with the tickets, 13 grand. So I'm not saying we're going to raise anywhere near £13,000, right? But this is brilliant. You know, the disability team, you see what it meant when he gave them shirts. Then they were out on that training pitch. Chaplin was there as well. And it's just, if we can help in just a little way, right, I think it's brilliant. Yep. It means so much if anybody can, look, even a couple of quid. I know times are really tough, Martin, at the minute, and money is tight with a lot of people, but if you could donate a couple of quid, 5 quid, 10 quid, it doesn't matter. what you donate, it's all going to a good cause. So, just dig deep if you can and see how far we can take it.
And that is why we shouldn't have put his name down as best influencer, because he makes things happen. When he puts his mind to it, he makes it happen. He influences things. Speaking of tickets, Barnsley coming up. Obviously, Wednesday we will do the draw. Tell the good people at home, if they're sat at home, just purring over Kieran McKenna's Ipswich.
You could be purring over Man United if you've been watching that first half hour tonight, because that is an unbelievable turnaround. I'm going to go back and watch it in a minute. So if you want to get to Portman Road, you've not got a season ticket, you maybe can't afford to get to the game, different circumstances. All you have to do is be a subscriber to Talking Town, take a screenshot of your subscription, drop it to me, you're in the draw. 25, I think, so far, Martin. I think that is probably it might be a couple more than we've had before. It's around 25 we've had so far. So hopefully, as the season continues and we're doing really well, people are going to want to get to Portman Road. So it's one ticket, one adult, one under 19 in the Sir Alf Ramsey lower. Martin has got a photograph. I don't know if he can bring it up on the screen. I know he's got a picture somewhere of it, but it's a great seat. It's a great view. And that's the
wrong one.
That's the tickets that Moby and Neil bought. That's another brilliant thing that we've done on this platform. They bought 2 season tickets. We've given them away to Volunteering Matters. This is what Talking Town does, And I was talking to I had a guy message me on Facebook today. His name's, I think it's either Tom or Tim. Sorry, I can't remember your name. He's in Ireland. He watches all the shows. He loves it. Another guy I was talking to, he's on the Discord. Can't remember what his name is. Used to go to town. There, look, that's the view. That is the view. But this guy had a stroke, right? He said he'd like to thank myself, you, Matt, everyone who gets involved in this platform, because it's bringing him some happiness, Martin. We're bringing happiness to everyone. This is what we do. I'm buzzing.
It is what we do. It is what we do.
I'm absolutely buzzing.
I can really see that you're buzzing. It's really infectious. And it is what we do. It is what we're about. It's about balanced opinions and making things happen. One club, one community, one Ipswich Town. We don't just say it, we live it and breathe it. So if you want to get involved, Crunch wants to hit 1,000. You know where he is on Twitter. You know he's on Facebook. You know where he is in the Discord. If you're a YouTube or Ko-Fi member, go to him. Get his details. Let's get moving. Let's get rocking. Let's get rolling. If you can. If you can't, don't feel in any way, shape, or form.
Or if you're on Twitter, right, say you can't afford it, you're on Twitter, social media, just share that post. Share that post, because it might get to someone who thinks, yeah, I can help, and they could share it to someone else. So this is how we can do it. It's like that snowball. We get it rolling.
We absolutely can. Cruncher, we appreciate you stepping in. Hopefully, we'll have more than 25 come Wednesday, and we can draw out the ticket for Barnsley. Because imagine just sat in that seat there watching, chatting, curling the winner.
And James Norwood going off injured with a pulled hamstring. Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, I'm trying to ban that word. I'm trying to ban that word in this week's conversation.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about Norwood. Don't worry about it.
Go back and enjoy Virgil van Dijk being sat on his backside again, and enjoy the rest of the football. But until just well done. See
you later. See you later.
Well done. On that note, while I compose myself and we get into tonight's show, let's have a quick word from one of our partners, and then we're going to get cracking straight into football.
Ipswich Buses, your local bus company. Don't get stuck in traffic. Ditch the car. Go green. Go contactless. Go Ipswich Buses. Fares available from £2.20 return, a fantastic price and a fantastic service. Ipswich Buses, proud to partner with Talking Town.
There we go. Compose myself following a truly fantastic act by Cruncher there. Let's go ahead and bring in somebody I think is an equal sci-fi geek as myself. The one, the only Milktray man, Ben Adams. Ben, is that fair to say you are a big sci-fi geek like myself?
Oh, massive. I'm a Stargate SG1 man. I love all things Stargate. I have books, I have posters, I have signed autographs. I've got everything. Total nerd, and I love it.
What about Game of Thrones?
Yeah, I like Game of Thrones, well, apart from the last season. But I want to watch the new one until I figured out it's yet on another subscription thing, so I have to buy Sky and subscribe to it. I'm glad you're doing that.
No, well, I started watching House of Dragon this evening. Obviously, a big Stark fan. I am. So I was so excited to see the Stark banner in one of the episodes, in one of the scenes. But yes, I started the House of Dragon. I would say give it a go, Benny. You might enjoy it. But you're right. There are so many different streaming platforms these days. You need so many to watch. Just
Danny and I were having we had our Sunday night film night last night, so we sat down and said we're going to watch the new Elvis film. So we're like, we really want to see that. I love Elvis. I love the music. And we sat down. It was like 17 quid to rent. I'm thinking, what the fuck? 17 quid? A cinema ticket is cheaper. So we watched Moonfall instead, it was so absolutely atrocious. It was brilliant. So and that was free. So,
17 quid makes $4.99 subscribing to Talking Town. Absolutely worth it. No, you're absolutely right. And listen, your name tonight is enjoying his humble pie. Before I go ahead and bring in Bigfish Tom James, you're enjoying your humble pie. What humble pie? Why? What was the comment? Talk to us about it at the moment.
I will say, as I said last game, actually, I'll say well done to Caden Jackson, who actually looked for a brief second like a striker. I'm thinking, wow, okay, it's taken 5.5 years, but actually, okay, he was in the right place to do it. But I'm sure we're going to pull that apart later.
We will. I'm just going to post Rich's bank. You want me to post your bank details on the screen, Rich, for the internet? To see
people can only pay into it. They can't get anything out of it if you.
It still makes the donut flap. That's all I'm gonna say. Post it in the chat and I'll put it on the screen. That I will do so. Caden Jackson almost looked like a striker. Well, I guess you could say that because he did go ahead and score a goal. Overall, how you feeling? Obviously, 5 games in, top of the tree. Is it where you expect it to be, Ben, or are we performing even better than what you expected?
I think we're surpassing the expectations of what I thought. I'm not going to lose my shit and say we're going to go a whole season unbeaten or we're going to get 100 points, 100 goals, because we've been here before. And all of us, I think every single person who's watching this right now, we've done this before. So I know what this looks like. Talk to me in 16 games' time when we're still first or second. Then you can just start getting a bit excited. But for the moment, I'm just keeping things really realistic, really calm, because we are, after all, Ipswich Town, and no one does implosions like we do. We are fantastic at it. We are number one of implosions. However, as it stands right now, I could not be happier, and I'm excited for every game I see.
Bigfish, Tom James.
I think the squad of 24-25 that we've got are good enough to do something in this league.
You heard the voice of the Milktray man there. This is Bigfish Tom James. Tom, how are you feeling? Top of the tree, 5 games in. What's going through your mind? It's all too good at the moment.
Yeah, I'm really happy, but I'm really calm. I'm trying to keep like McKenna, I think, and just keep it on a level playing field. I think a few people might have been disappointed when we drew the first game with Bolton because it was at home, but no, just level throughout the whole thing we've had so far. 5 games. We've looked good in places. There's a lot of room for improvement. And that's where I'm not going to get carried away. It's not going to be 100 points, 100 goals just yet, but I'm more confident than I have been in God knows how long. So, yeah, really happy.
Room for improvement. Where is there room for improvement when you score 7 goals and concede 0 in 1 week? Where's the Tom James improvement needing to come in there? Because I like that, but now I need to back it up. Where's it coming from?
That's right. And McKenna's touched on it as well. We do need to improve in areas, but for me, it's keeping hold of the ball a bit more, looking after it. Another striker, which I think I said the last few times I've been on, we need one more striker, something a bit different. And yeah, defence and goalkeeper, I think we're shipshape. We're good. Midfield, hopefully Ball can get fit and we've got a solid 3 in there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's just up front for me. I think we're okay in all other areas. The left side I'm so happy with compared to the last 2 seasons. That's the biggest thing that needed fixing. We fixed it, I think. So, yeah, room for improvement, which is good. There's time to do it, and I'm confident we can.
Now, the environment, the mood, the water temperature, whatever you want to say about Ipswich Town right now is bubbling. It is so red hot. The excitement is fever pitch. But Tom made an interesting observation to me last night, and I just wanted to put it to you, Ben, what he made the observation to be. Because as I've just said, 3 games in a week, 7 goals, 0 conceded. We've only dropped 2 points all year. That was at home to Bolton. Yeah. But then Tom messaged me with a little picture, and and some like we need to call our jets. Just tell Ben what you told me because it was quite interesting. What it was you were trying to get at.
To be honest, I shared it with you, and then afterwards, retrospectively, I thought I'm not trying to come across as like negative at all. Because I think we've had a brilliant start. The whole culture around the club is amazing. Like fans, players, we're all connected. But just like looking at the first 5 games, these teams we've played haven't got off to a good start. So who knows where they're going to be at the end? They could be up there, they could be in the middle. Who knows? But the teams we've played are in the bottom 8 at the minute. So until we play the teams in the top 8, which kind of look like what we all thought, then I think just see that. I think that will be the real test for us. Just look at these teams. There's 4 of the 5 there. They've not had the best start. It doesn't mean they're not going to have a good finish, but we've done really well to beat these teams, and we've had a really good job at it. But I just think we've been stung before, so let's just try and reel it in ever so slightly. But I think we'll be all right.
And the one team we didn't win against, the one team we conceded against, it was a really hard battle, and it could have gone either way. That's one of the teams that's going to be up there. Mm-hmm. So that's going to happen another 10, 12 times, this season. But I think I'm exactly with you. I'm with probably Kieran McKenna, who's thank God I really love that guy. But I think this is the middle of fucking August. Talk to me in March 28th. Because that's when stuff start getting real. And as I said, we've been here before, and at the moment we're sprinting. We're ahead of the pack. We're sprinting, but sprinting, as in life, you always run out of momentum. So buying an extra striker, putting Dominic Ball in there, who I think is going to have a really big part of our season. Really cementing Leif Davis's progression and his improvement in the team. Those are the things that happen when the sprinting runs out and it becomes a marathon. Because a marathon will win you it'll win you the league. And we will run out of steam. We will slow down. We will go through those periods where we are not as good, where we can't quite get the goal. We can't quite buy a win. It's been a really shitty couple of weeks. That's when you want your extra striker. That's when you want, people progressing and improving down the left, or wherever else really. So this is a marathon, not a sprint. We've won a sprint. I'm more interested in the marathon because the marathon gets you promoted.
Yeah. You see, I completely get where you're both coming from. First of all, big up Jordan Hall, becoming a new YouTube member. Jordan, welcome home, brother. Thank you very much for joining the Talking Town community. And David with €20 donation. Thank you very much, David. I'm going to go in the opposite direction to you two. I'm going to say, do you know what? I'm not in that dressing room. I am not a professional football player. It's not my job to keep my feet on the ground. It's not my job to keep myself focused on Barnsley. It is my job to enjoy this absolute thrill-seeking ride. And I'll tell you what Tom said, and it's absolutely... I didn't realise they were that clustered until he showed me the image. I get it. I buy it. I agree with it. But at the start of the year, MK would have been a considered top team, etc., etc. We're playing some sexy football. On the wedding on Saturday night, when I was asked, how did we play, Martin? I said, sexy football. Don't matter if it's August, March, October, November. Anytime your team's playing sexy football, purr again. Because it ain't my job to stay focused. That's McKenna and that's them bunch of lads in the dressing room. They're the paid pros. So when people say to me, which I'm sure you both will do in a second, Barnsley up next, stay focused on one game at a time. I'm not in that dressing room. That ain't my job. I'm already looking at the next 7 and thinking how many points can we take from that next 7? How good could we be when we play 3 of the top 6 in the next couple of weeks, Tom? I'm starting to think, you know what? Why not? But I know you've got to be sensible. Tom, over to you. 3 of the next 7 against the top 6. That's going to be a bit more of a test.
Yeah, and I've seen Callie and Colin, the most positive person in the world, just posting in the chat about be positive and all of that. And I'm loving this. This is a great start to the season, and I feel really positive. I just think what we've played so far is not reflective of what we will play in the future. But I still feel confident that what we play in the future, we're going to have more than enough than the crap we had to deal with, not beating these top teams, not beating the promoted teams. We're getting over these hurdles already. So I think it's just a case of great start, but there's a lot more to do based on what's gone on so far. So, yeah, I think overall it's really positive. I think we go to Barnsley with a lot of confidence. They look quite bad at the minute, and we know who's up front for them. We don't think it'll be
on your image, another team that could be on that image. You know what I mean? They could fall to the sword.
It's great. I'm going into most games confident that we're going to do something. And there were times in the Kirk and certainly the Lambert era where I just couldn't call which way it was going to go sometimes. So I feel like we've got a very well-oiled machine at the minute, and yeah, we should all be positive and we should be enjoying it. So
just because Game of Thrones kicked off again tonight, someone with a lot more skill and talent with me needs to stick Kieran McKenna on the Iron Throne, and on the swords of the Iron Throne need to be the teams that we have slayed along the way, my friends. Because
I hear that. I see that.
I'm thinking that image that I've just had in my head of Kieran on that Iron Throne, and you've got the Bolton. We didn't lose against Bolton. So
you can imagine like Kieran McKenna on top of a dragon flying over the sea,
yes.
burning all the league and the teams. Yeah,
yes, Vicaris. Jordan Hall, £10. Thank you very much, Jordan. Appreciate it. He says, while watching Friday's show, I said to my mother, what should I be? Should I be Ipswich? No, he didn't say that, but he said that I would give the Gov a tenner if we won 3-0. Happy days. The rest is history. Love the show. Keep up the good work. Jordan, I appreciate the honesty, because that's between you and your mum, and I don't know your mum, so you could have kept it very quiet. And B, 1-3-0, so you just made it even more sweeter. You mentioned Don Bull, Ben. I put in the show notes, and I thought that might get Callie a little bit excited in the show notes. Lee Evans, not the comedian, the footballer, and Sam Morsy.
I'm glad you mentioned him. I've got things to say about him. Best
midfield in League One right now, pound for pound. What do you think about that one?
Absolutely fucking correct. And Morsy, you kind of expect it. I think Morsy is, in my estimation, just got better and better and better and better and better every single game I play him. So he's now consistently an 8 or a 9 out of 10. Evans took a long while for people to be won over by Evans. I think he was a slightly slow starter. I remember particular games I thought he was very good last season that not other people agreed with me with quite passionately. But actually, I think as time's gone on, he's shown his quality. He's spraying passes out. His movement off the ball, watch his positioning and how he works around and alongside Morsy. Them two are like tethered, that they know where each other are. The communication between them is great. And I think his vision for a pass, he's like what Cole Stews could have been if Cole Stews wasn't shit. is what I think. So you know how he's a crab. This guy's he's a crab. This guy's an octopus. He can spray in all directions quite accurately, whereas Skews will go left or right and then fall over. So
I didn't know you were going there.
He's a Skews 7.8. He's not even a 2.0.
I'll put some meat on that bone for you, Tom. Accurate passers right now in League One. Lee Evans sits third with 87.3%. The other two ahead of him are centre halves. That's little 2-yard balls into their midfielders. Anyone could do that, even me. Lee Evans is a midfield player to be that high, that successful. He's having a really good start of the season.
I've really enjoyed watching him. And even at Bolton, I think there were a few comments maybe said he wasn't at his best. But I really enjoyed watching him just mop up. Morsy got forward a lot more, and he's allowed him to do that a lot more than he did last season when he was fit. And he gives us a bit of stability back there. And I think he's Lee Evans, the comedian, on set pieces at the minute.
That's true.
Hopefully he gets better at that, because we really need to get those nailed down. But I've really enjoyed watching him. I think he's one of the most improved players that we've had so far. So yeah, really good. It's hard to disagree that Morsy and Evans are not the best two in this league at the minute.
I will ask you something here now, Tom. We'll put a little cravat in it. I will put a little chink in the armour of the two. Goals. If Sam Morsy can add some more goals, because I think there's probably one or two attacking midfielders who can make a claim to be perhaps the better version in their role. It's that, isn't it? Because you've got Lee Evans with the pass completion rate and making a sort of tick. Sam with the bite, Sam with the energy. If he just brought another couple of goals, which he could have got, I'm not saying he's not created. You'd be, Majorton Holland in League One levels of good at the moment.
I'm happy he's getting in these positions to start with, because I think we're probably guilty in the past of having midfielders who are just back there. Probably Cole Skews, to be fair, but I love the guy, so I'm not going to shit on him.
He's amazing.
I do love him. But yeah, we've been guilty of having midfielders that probably aren't.
His hair?
Just a great guy. And I really enjoyed his start with us. Probably the end it tailed off. But yeah, I enjoyed watching him under prime Mick years. But prime Mick years, yeah.
You're pushing the word prime. It's going to heavy lifting.
Yeah,
doing a lot of heavy lifting there. Tom.
Yeah, I think goals is going to be something that we're all going to need to wait and see if that's going to come. I'm more confident that they will come from these two this season than I was from a smaller sample we had under McKenna last season. So, yeah, I trust him. I'm not sure what Ball's like in terms of getting goals, but it's probably not. You look at Peterborough and you've got like Jack Taylor in there. He will score probably 10 goals a season. You look at like Marlon Pack for Wednesday in there, probably will score. But as a combined two, understanding of each other, I think we're all right.
I think we're all right. Alex, you first of all, just to pause that conversation, great conversation. Yeah, your name is Top Work Crunch.
Yeah.
Talk to us.
It's, as someone that's played disabled sport, not football admittedly, but, I think you could see the impact that had on those, those guys who draw deference in the video. And if we can, if we as a community can come together and can make that experience even better for those guys, then let's do it. You can see the passion that they've got for football, and as a platform that has sort of really championed, disability inclusion and all of that, both that me and you have done. I'm more than proud to get behind that, and there would be nothing more satisfying than having those guys back out on the pitch like they were before, in their kit, in their training tops.
Yeah.
And even doing like almost like a little warm up, like pretty much doing a carbon copy of what the first team do, and just go, because that could be like, there could be some, there could be someone in one of the disabled sections. It's what I never thought that football was for me. And, seeing what Ipswich are doing, I couldn't be prouder. I really couldn't. But
absolutely.
Yeah, when Crunch messaged me literally on my way home from work, it's like, yeah, I'm 100% into that.
Good,
and I'm
man.
so proud to be part of a platform that is so passionate about it. And if we can, I don't care what Twitter says. I don't care what, literally, I don't care what any of the other platforms say about what we do. Come and do better than we do, then you've got a right to complain. Otherwise, get back in your box, shut up, and let us do what we do.
I absolutely love and respect the passion. If I had said that, I'd be having 1,000 bullets coming my way right now. So I appreciate you saying that, right? I appreciate you saying that. I couldn't not ask you when you got your name literally set as Top Work Crunch. Alex, you're spot on as always, but back to the football. Morsy, Evans, the best midfield two in League One. Am I being a little bit over the top there, or are you subscribing to that early doors as well?
I don't think you are, because I'll quite openly admit that, when Don Ball came in, I was very much on the Don Ball fan club and leaving Lee Evans out in the cold, because
Same.
It was like 100%, Lee Evans, but Lee Evans had only been like a new signing this year. Because he's getting a run of games. He was injured last year. And it all comes down to one word that I've heard so much in the last 5 games: fitness. We've actually got a training, a management team that understand the fitness of football. And one thing I wanted to bring up, I watched Steve Cottrell's post-match comments on Saturday, and first thing first, Steve Cottrell, welcome back to football. Glad to have you back. That bloke's been through an absolute ringer in the last 18 months. He really has. So, first thing, I'm glad you're back. Awesome. But how refreshing was it to hear a manager go, "They were too good for us"? How many times have we heard us being the one saying that? How good they get it too good for us? And I really think having the 5 subs this year is really helping us, because we can switch it, we can improve, and we've finally now got a squad where we can make changes, and we're not weakening the side by doing so. So for me, yeah, it is very much keep your feet on the ground, but it just feels so different this time because it feels like there's organisation. You know, I've literally just finished the All or Nothing, the Arsenal series on Prime, and you can see how meticulous that Mikel Arteta is for Arsenal in his preparation. And you can
brilliant.
We've got a manager that's probably now doing, if not the same, something very similar. Rather than going, oh, hang on a minute, I've got an idea. Let's get a striker to be our defensive coach, and that's going to be an amazing idea.
Yeah, wasn't a high point really, was it?
And it's just like, but it comes down to trust, and we've got a management team in there that we trust, and you know there are going to be ups and downs, but you know, unlike any other manager we've had for many years, you trust this management team to work to get the equation to get us out of the down, rather than it just putting your finger in the air and going, "Oh, this might work."
I agree. It seems quite methodical, doesn't it? It's based on education, and it's funny. I was rewatching the Jason interview. You know, we done a few weeks ago with fucking legend from America, and he was saying, you know, how he met Kieran and he met all the squad, and he met all the backroom staff, and he said, honestly, guys, this guy is going places. He has got ideas, enthusiasm, watching how the players relate to him, and you just see it on the pitch. And I can't. I'm trying to think of the last time I felt that about a manager. I think probably the early days of Mick McCarthy, that he came in to do a job and done it very effectively. I thought finally, and obviously that all went to shit. But this guy, I'm telling you, if it is going to be this season, then it's still an if for me, but looking more likely it will be. We are as close to getting promoted out of the league under him than I think we've been since about 2006.
Christ, you weren't saying that a couple of weeks ago. The times are changing around here, Mister.
There's a whole connection point of that, and we're going to bring that in a future episode. Don't worry, there's a whole connection point around that.
Oh, well, I like bringing it all back to the point. Alex, you mentioned Don Ball there a little bit. You know, new signings. You thought Don Ball would be the man. I'll ask both you and Tom, but I'll ask you first because obviously you're the guy who just clicked the link. How important is it that we get Don Ball not only back on the grass but back in the team? Not because Lee Evans is not playing well, not because Sam Morsy is not playing well, but because we predict him to bring something a little bit different to those two. And our next three away games are Accrington Stanley, Sheffield Wednesday, Plymouth Argyle in the league. They're three games that you probably do want another gritty, determined, take a foul, buy a yellow card midfielder. At any point of the season, it's those three, right?
Yeah, it's going to be. He strikes me as being one of those midfielders that he's not going to do anything flashy, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
he's going to get in there and just do the dirty work. And more to the point, you know, it is important to get him back because he will have a role to play this year. And you know, you've got to, without him, if Lee Evans or Sam Morsy does get injured, then who's behind him to step in and I know you'll say Raheem the Dream, but he's done nothing to prove it. Look, he's the reason we're out of the flipping Carabao Cup because he just got his penalty box rather.
You say nothing, I say made a great assist, but just to the wrong team. I mean, you know, potato, tomato.
But then the thing is, it's because Morsy's going to, you know, the kind of player that Morsy is, he's going to get suspended this year. But then you can almost like, if you've got Don Ball available, say Morsy has got an injury or suspension, you can almost slot Don Ball in beside Lee Evans and you haven't lost anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Tom, you know, for individually different reasons, they are three of the toughest away games, aren't they? Stanley, Wednesday, and Plymouth, I would say. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yeah, it's hard to disagree with that, isn't it? And I can certainly see Don Ball getting his time soon to come in the team. I think if McKenna's brave enough to make 5 subs over the past few games, then changes will come. And I think all the players will have bought into why it happens as well. Whereas maybe under previous managers, there wouldn't be an explanation as to the thought behind the team selection or anything like that. So I think you can see by like the subs just celebrating with us when we score, we're all in it together. I think if someone drops out, it's for a purpose and it's for the betterment of everyone else. So I think Ball coming in for Evans would be great. If he covers for Morsy, equally fine. We'll miss our captain for a bit, but we should hope others got to step up to it.
Top work. Alex, we love you and we appreciate you. Look after yourself. Do not work too hard. I know how hard you work yourself. Don't work too hard.
See you soon, man.
There, guys.
Look after yourself. Stephen, we'll bring you in. You've heard the points so far. You can put the final bow on the Morsy and Evans segment before I ask you a different question. What have you been thinking first half hour of the show?
Oh, well, first off, top work for Cruncher and great words by Alex as well. You know, this podcast has been a godsend for a lot of us, especially with most of us picking it up during lockdown. You know, and the things that has gone on, and it's immeasurable. You can't measure that sort of thing. You know what I mean? Oh, the wife's just being a kitten. Thank you. Yeah, you can't measure that sort. You can't. Don't get this. Never work with animals on live TV.
You don't get that on any other podcast, do you? Brilliant.
You can't measure this stuff. You know what I mean? It's like something from the soul, something from the heart. You know what I mean? But top works to everyone anyway. Anyway, getting back to Ball and whatever. I think Ball's going to have an important role to play. Yeah. He's gonna. I'm not gonna swear. He's gonna laugh all the time now, isn't he? Yeah.
I can just hear this cat, Steve. That's all I can hear is this little.
I know. I'm stroking wife's pussy. See if it keeps it quiet.
Oh, Stephen, there's no need. It's a family show.
It's a cat. Anyway, can I get back to Ball?
You can. Oh, don't go from ball to pussy. Christ's sake.
You just had a go at me. I didn't say that at all. Anyway, I think Ball's going to have more a role with these teams like Sheffield Wednesday, with the derbies, the ones who are more progressive, who will have a go at us. Yeah, I think Evans might struggle in those sorts of teams against teams like Burton, teams like Forest Green, teams like the teams who you can dominate possession with. I think Evans is the guy to play against the teams where you might struggle for possession and you might have to break up play a lot better. I think Ball's the guy who's, Ball's the guy who's just going to sit there in front of the back four. We might not get as much possession as we've been getting. Just sit there, pick the ball up, spray it out, off. I think that's where he's going to come into his own. I might be wrong. At the end of the day, we all pick teams. We all have a look at see what we can pick. And McKenna picks who he thinks is best for that particular game. And I found that quite refreshing because you never know who's going to pick, you know what I mean? So it's quite, makes Saturday afternoons at 2:00 quite interesting, so I enjoy that.
I think we all do it to an extent. One injured player to another. Wes Burns missed the last two. We've had 6 points without him. My first question to you both, while Ben sorts his internet out, is: are you now in a prepared where you're confident enough to be, unless you are 80% or more, you sit on the sidelines? Because last year, if it was, fractionally in the right direction, he'd have played. We were one-man team. We couldn't play without him. He was the man. Are you more prepared, Stephen, now if he to really let it heal as long as it possibly needs, or do you still feel 70% or more you've got to go with him, you've got to start him, you've got to play him? Where are you on that one?
I think it depends on who we play. Yeah, like I think most of us were pretty confident that we could leave him out for Shrewsbury and we'd be able to manage. If we played a Sheffield Wednesday, it might be a bit different. If we left him out for Burton, but we were playing Sheffield Wednesday on Saturday, he might not have been left out. He might have started that one because he offers more than what we've got there. We've got good backups. I'm not saying we haven't, but he offers more. It's not like we've got on the left now. We've got two very good left-siders, and you couldn't really stick a fag paper between them. On the right, we've got one really good one, and KVY's just a little bit behind. Yeah, he's in some games he does good work, and he's getting to where he was, but he's a bit further behind than what Lee would be with Davis. So in the big games, if there was a doubt, I think he'd probably start. But let's just hope that doesn't happen, because I'd rather him play as many games as possible, and I'd rather him not get injured. But if it was a big game, I think if Sheffield Wednesday, we were playing Sheffield Wednesday Saturday, I think he would have played him, because I think we'd have needed him.
A couple of things to consider. Obviously, Tom, it is early doors, 5 games in. You perhaps don't want to ruin a man's season before you need to. But is Stephen a little bit right there? Are you, you've got Barnsley, Cambridge, Bristol Rovers, Wednesday, Plymouth, etc. coming up? Is it more? Football's not played on paper, but could you sit in for the Cambridge and Bristol Rovers and Barnsley home games, whereas away from home with Accrington and Plymouth and Wednesday, that's where you really want to feature a Wes Burns, or is it just if he's fit enough, we'll take it week by week? What's your stance on it, T?
Yeah, I kind of agree with everything that pretty much Stephen said there. I wouldn't risk him unless it's absolutely essential, and then I would put him on the bench and probably bring him on for the last bit of the game so he can warm up properly throughout the game. But yeah, he is the best that we've got on the right side, so we can't go on the whole season without him, and we won't, I'm sure. But yeah, I don't think there's enough on the right side to replace Wes, and it's because he's at such high standards is the reason for that. So yeah, we need him 80-90% fit if we're going to risk him, but I don't feel like we're in a position where we're taking those risks anymore. We've got a more professional setup behind us, and I think they will know if it will make further damage down the season. So,
are you surprised at how well we've adapted without him, Tom, or is it as despite saying early part of the show where it was just feet on the ground of who we've played, it's kind of horse for courses, and we should have adapted and been okay without him?
Yeah, you'd like to think with the setup we've got that they know how we're going to adapt, and because like the Burton game was very different with Jackson out there on the right, it was a lot more to the touchline, whereas Burns would kind of really come inside a lot more, and it was a lot probably more rigid, but he did the job that he needed to do. It wasn't great for me, but it was like he did a job. But Burns does a completely different job to that, and we do need him. Like he's going to be a huge part of what we do. So.
Hard to replace a player like Wes Burns, Ben, but we've seen two different players try and do it. Jackson at Burton, KVY against Shrewsbury. Who, all things considered, who's your preferred option if Wes can't go? Out of perhaps out of those two, and then out of another option that you perhaps haven't seen yet.
I think it would be something like KVY. To be honest with you, I've always rated him, and always felt he got a bit hard done by with the injury, which I think really slowed down what I think could have been an incredible trajectory of how he plays. When he became Jackson for me, I just think he plays a different. I think he's more of a kind of a centre forward more than the right winger, although he does play on the right a lot. But isn't it great to even have the debate that Burns does come out and last season, if Burns doesn't play, we don't win. This year we do, and that's a hell of a difference. And that's a. I know strengthening depth is a cliche thrown about by every football club who's professional, but it's actually quite genuine this time. Is that we can afford to lose Wes Burns, who is, for my money, one of the top three players in this division and probably half the championship, and we still win games. And that's good recruitment, that's good drilling, that's good fitness. For me, KVY, I love what he offers. Dare I even say, he could drop Shorty Luco on the right, cutting in, because he loves to cut in, that boy. But again, with 5 substitutes, I think even the games Burns does play, you can drop. We rotate formations, we rotate players. So I don't think it's a either or. It's a question of at what point will he be rotated around, or players working around to adapt him. Because I think this 5 substitutes is just absolutely the best fucking thing that's ever happened to us, because of the way we play and the way we drop in subs and the fitness and the speed and the shape. That rule change. We will be the team that benefits more than any other in this football division, I think. So KVY is the short answer.
Okay, KVY, love it. Stephen, before I let you go and bring in Mr. Incredible, self-proclaimed name, by the way, transfer window-wise, if it was to shut tomorrow, suddenly a FIFA brought out a new rule, shuts tomorrow, what would you grade our window as of right now?
As of right now, first off, I just want to mention something. I think a lot of the points that we've made are all valid points, I think. But what Saturday and Tuesday has shown, because last season, if you remember, you marked Burns out of the game, we did nothing. And it seemed to be a tactic. Get 2 on Burns, we did nothing. Yeah, Burns wasn't playing the last 2 games, we won. Our left has become so strong now. When Burns is in and Davis is in, they don't know which side to mark. So you can't see where you just mark one out, because then the other one will hit you. So if you mark the other one will hit you. So I think that's balance-wise, I think we're a lot better than transfer window-wise. Right now, unless it's the right player, I don't think we need a player. It's got to be the right player. I heard a lot of people when Sheffield Wednesday got Malik Wilkes. I don't want Malik Wilkes. Malik Wilkes is a failed Championship player. We're building it. Yeah, we all know if Sheffield Wednesday go up, Wilkes will do nothing. Otherwise, he'd still be at Hull. Hull haven't got rid of him because he's great. They've got rid of him because he's no good for the Championship. We don't need that. Look at all the players we've got from the Championship. Chaplin got to 6th, left. Morsy, always done well in the Championship. Walton did well when he was at Blackburn in the Championship. All the others that we've got in are potential for the Championship. Davis, Burns. We've got, Ball, another experienced Championship player who's done well at Championship level. I don't want rejects because of a name. If there's a right player out there, who offers something that we haven't got, get up. If there's not, I'm good with what we've got.
Perfect.
Because you think about where the goals have come from. It's a wonderful having the spread, as Gino Cassio says down there. It's great having the spread, but we've got 2 strikers. One a prospective Renaissance man, and the other one Ridapo. In the 5 games, he scored 1 goal, and that was off a deflected hit against an inner thigh 3 yards from the goal line. We don't have a striker scoring goals right now, so it actually has to work going through that the entire squad. I think my question is, how long can that be sustained for, is my question.
Or is it, at the moment, everyone's scoring, and then in 4 or 5 games' time, we don't know, Tyrese John Jules might go on a run of games and score a run of goals. Ladapo might come back in and go on a run of games and score a run of goals. We don't know. Bond did it, so these could do it. We just didn't have the second bit when Bond stopped scoring. We didn't have the rest of them chipping in to cover for Bond.
All the teams that got promoted last season had at least 2 players who scored more than 15 goals. All the teams that went up, and from the Championship to the Premier League. That's not chance. That's what
I can see us having 2 players scoring 15 goals.
All right, 2 beautifully put together arguments. When the window shuts and lack of or action has been done, we will talk again and revisit this.
One more point. I do think we'll get at least 1 more player, possibly 2.
Good man. Stephen, as always, very balanced, very good. We love you, Stephen. Look after yourself. All the best. I want to jump back to what you were saying about KVY a moment there, Ben. He's your number 1 option. Mike D said if no Burns, I'd start Edwards. And Lee says having the right players down the left gives us balance. We didn't miss him or rely on him as much. Mr. Incredible. 2 good points there from our members in the chat. First of all, Edwards. Are you surprised we haven't seen him yet be featured more at right side while Burns has been injured?
No, I don't, because Burns down that right hand side is our number 1 at the moment, and then we've got KVY, who did a stellar job against Shrewsbury, and Jackson. What he did, against Burton midweek was absolutely fantastic. He worked his absolute socks off. Box to box, defending as well as he was going forward, and that's what I love to see from a player in a Town shirt, giving his all for the team and working his socks off like that.
I think that's all we've ever all wanted from players, isn't it, Tom? Just you wear that shirt, you give 100%, and you work your knackers off.
Yeah, and I don't think we'd expect anything less. This regime won't expect anything less, and it's basically what we've been treated to for so long. So
that's a great little caveat point. Actually, I think every season preceding this one, you could name 2 or 3 players who haven't put on in the 100% in the game. Can you name one that you've seen in this squad this year? It's very early, that when you've seen them play hasn't put in 100%. Unless I'm some memory blank, I actually can't think of one who hasn't come on and added something or maintained the standard that's there. And and every single year I could think of 5 examples where that's happened. Have you anyone? Can anyone in the chat? Anyone who, when you've seen this person come on, you don't feel that they've given 100% in that shirt? Because I don't think the answer is yes.
Mr. Incredible.
I can't think of one. Not this season. Ben's absolutely right that in the 5 league games that we've had, there's not been a single player that I can think of that's not come on and done an absolute shift for us.
I just wanted to go back. So on Saturday, Mr. Incredible and TJ, the 3 goals. I went back and looked for first of all for the penalty. Let's big on that, Mr. Incredible. Is it a penalty? Yes or no?
Yes, it is. Yeah, for me. I was thinking about this the other night. The other night when when Morsy was on. I think looking at the replay, I've seen it twice, so I've not seen it much. The referee himself is probably not at the best angle. He's actually behind where the contact was probably made. So his line of vision is probably partially obscured. So there may have been a doubt in his mind. There was a doubt in his mind because he didn't give it. I mean, so if he can't clearly see it, then really he shouldn't be giving it. But for me, look at the replays. Yes, it's absolutely 100% penalty there because there's enough contacts.
Tom?
Yeah, it's penalty. I was surprised at the time, and I think the time it was like a couple of minutes in, and I think that's what's done us is the ref not confident enough to give a pen and maybe a red. Could be a yellow if double jeopardy's involved, but I think the ref's gone 2 minutes in. I'm not giving that.
No, I disagree. It wasn't a penalty. There's a different angle of that, and there's no way it's a penalty. If
you go through a player, I don't care if you get the whole ball. You can't go through players. That's not something, particularly from the angle he was at.
It's the angle behind the goal, isn't it, Ben? Like I think it's like a little camera like that. But I watched that probably 3 or 4 times, and for me, I changed my mind back and I was like, oh, it's not a penalty. But then I think, like Martin said, he's just gone through his leg to get to the ball. That's what I saw at the end. So, yeah.
But I think even if there's debate against us, you're a referee in front of 4,000 away supporters, whoever it was, 2,000. That's in the moment. It wasn't stonewall. I hate that word, stonewall. Some of them are stonewall. That wasn't. For me, I looked at it carefully as much as I wanted it to be one, and thankfully it turned out we didn't need it. It just wasn't clear cut enough for me. And I'm thinking if I was the ref, I would be thinking a few seconds. But and I could have gone either way. But for me, I do understand the argument because from where I watched it on TV, it's a fucking stonewall penalty.
And you're going nuts inside.
And you think, what planet are you on? The fucking refs in this league, and I'm always going on about the refs. But from the other angle, I'm thinking that's interesting. Okay, that's different for me.
For that move though, just incredible. 7 passes, 9 touches. For goal number 2, 10 passes, 17 touches, 5 of which was Burgess. Now I've done that quick math while watching the highlights back while trying to put a 2-year-old to bed. So don't quote me word for word that it's exactly stroke for stroke right. But let's go on it. 7 passes, 9 touches for the penalty, 10 passes, 17 touches, 5 for Burgess. We're playing some really incredibly fast, slick, one-touch pass and move. And it's just, that's the difference between Lambert ball and McKenna ball. Lambert kept the ball and we round out games. McKenna ball early part of the year is ball with a reason to have the ball, and that is to score goals.
Yeah, I mean, so for me, it's a difference between a manager who instilled confidence and belief in his players and a manager who didn't. And, it's clear to us which manager who didn't instill confidence and belief in his players. Obviously, I wasn't at the game. I didn't see the game online. I didn't even listen to all the radio because I was doing something else. But for me, that Chapman goal, he took it extremely well. I mean, if Chappers can score more goals like that this season, then taking maybe the pressure off our number 9 for the time being is going to be, the thing that we need for the time being. But going back to a previous question, I'm looking at the fixture list. I'm looking at the 3 fixtures we've got towards the end of September. We've got Wednesday, Plymouth and Portsmouth, and that's going to be our test. I mean, looking at it from a positive, it's great that we've got the points on the board, and the next 4 games we should really be winning all of them on paper from the start that we made to cement our place in the top 2 for the time being. But it'd be interesting to see how we perform against Wednesday, Plymouth, and Portsmouth. If we get at least 4 or 5 points from those games, great. But if we get more than that, even better.
Absolutely. And Tom, it wasn't really an anomaly because the goal number 3, 4 passes, shot, goal, 11 touches before the shot, 6 of which was Aluko carrying the football.
3 assists.
But 11 touches, 6 was Aluko carrying the ball, 4 passes, shot, goal. We heard a lot about profile in the summer. One of the things you can't quantify, and really is, well, you can, but it's intelligence. All these things show intelligence of movement. To have one pass slick movement like that, you have to have intelligent players. And at the right end of the pitch for the first time in a long time in my life, certainly, we have intelligent goal-scoring players.
Yeah, we certainly do. It's really good to see. We've got talent coming off the bench, and like Ben said, this 5 subs rule is so good for us, isn't it? It's like it's almost a mini. I think it'll be a cheat code for us in a way.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great. I was trying to think of an analogy, and I couldn't think of one, and that is it. You put in your cheat code. This 5 sub rule is like anyone who grew up on Sega or Nintendo. This is left, up, right, down, A, B, start. This is like fucking cheating for us, and it works so well because every time we've used it, and we actually always use the 5, interestingly enough, and we always get better, and that's where the fitness comes in, because then you're replacing. When I watch the opposition do their substitutions, they don't look as fit, they don't look quicker, they don't look sprightlier, they don't move as quickly. It's more tactical than anything else. When we come in, we up a tempo, and that is going to be in the middle of January, when it's Tuesday night and it's -6, and you're sitting there freezing your nuts off. That will be really important, I think. High fitness levels, coming on and maintaining a level of football, that is going to be so important. Then now it's just a joy, but then it's going to be a necessity, I think.
Absolutely, Mr. Incredible, second time in a row. We absolutely love seeing you. See you at the Sir Ralph.
Yes? See you, man.
Good man. Look after yourself. Keep smiling. Absolutely. You can't help but smile right now as an Ipswich Town fan. It is a good time, and a time we must keep hold of, because this evening, as I close my eyes to go to sleep, I shall listen to the Derby County phone-in from the weekend, and I'm looking forward to it because I think they drew again at the weekend against Fleetwood. So maybe they're... Well, exactly. Maybe they're experiencing some of the things we've experienced in our first couple of years down, where it's hard to beat.
Mark my words, they'll be up with us at the end of the season.
Oh, they will be.
They'll be right on our arse. They will.
But
Portsmouth, Sheffield Wednesday will be between the 4 of us.
So I can imagine their fan bases going through the same things we went through, where you expect to turn up, steamroll a Fleetwood, and it's a really difficult thing. Which is why when you look at the fixtures, as Mr. Incredible was there saying, yes, we want to look at the Wednesdays and the Stanleys because they're always a tough side for us, and the Plymouths. But you can't overlook the Bristol Rovers and the Cambridges at home, because they're not bankers. True. They're not easy 6-pointers. They're going to be tough. They're going to be difficult. And it's, I'm looking forward to seeing how it sort of progresses. We're 5 games in. As we close the show, I want to ask you both, is there one thing about this season, it could be an ITFC thing or a League One thing in general, that surprised you so far? Tom, I'll ask yourself first.
I didn't think we'd have 13 points at this point of the season. I wasn't expecting a crap start. I wasn't expecting 5 out of 5. I'm very surprised, pleasantly surprised, I should say. I'm impressed also with the mindset of the team. We've conceded a penalty in our first game. Didn't put us off. We got better. We didn't get a penalty in the last game when I think we should have. Didn't put us off. We just got better. And it's like little things that maybe we would complain at or have a go at. The mindset across this team is, all right, get on with it. On to the next one. That's kind of what we are at the minute. And I think we've got the quality to go with that as well. So I think it's just a very well-oiled machine, and it's been great to see it in practice rather than what we thought would happen is maybe happening. So,
and obviously you did the fantastic show with Jason, Ben. We've also shown at times the running towards adversity mantra. A goal down at Bolton, not having it your own way early doors at Burton, them hitting the bar, Walton somehow cat-like reflexes off the line to keep it. We've shown the early stages of what the football club wants to be about, and that is, adversity is not something that will stop us or derail us. It is something that we will work through to become stronger on the other side, isn't it?
No, I don't buy into that mantra at all. I think that's a terrible worded phrase, and I don't like it. We've spent 12 years running towards adversity, and we've managed to catch it up every single time. This is, if it was something about the interview, it's more the fact that if there's a challenge, you face it and you understand it and you overcome it. So this is a challenging season. This is a challenging set of teams we're going to play. There's players making their debuts. There's challenges there. What I've seen is that it has been faced and overcome game per game per game, set play by set play, formation by formation. Game management, these are all things that have faced and overcome. Running towards adversity, no, adversity is going 2-1 down in 90 minutes. We've spent 12 years running towards that. Fuck that. I say acknowledge possible adversity and work your arse off to avoid it. That's what I'm seeing from my Ipswich teams, and that's what I got a lot from kind of, Jason talking to him, which is, things will go wrong, and you manage it and you do the very best you can with what you have in those circumstances. So for me, if to answer your question, the surprise will be something like the fitness levels have really surprised me, and the impact of substitutions and very well-timed substitutions, which is not something we've had in the past decade, which is 87 minutes. Oh, now you're going to put on a left back, stuff like that. We've had that for years. Every time the subs have rotated on, we've gone up a level, we've got better. It's either equaled a great pace or bettered it. And that is why we're winning games right now. It's very, very, very effective game management. So that's been my surprise, just because we haven't had it in so fucking long.
It has been a while, and we're 5 games in, halfway to the traditional. Don't look at the league table till 10 league games in, but halfway to that point, is there anything about the League One table, Tom, Ben, that surprises you at the moment? Whether a team you felt would be stronger, whether a team you didn't feel would be being stronger? Tom, is there anything as you look at the league table? I mean, for me, I'll say it straight away. Lincoln for you, Ben. Talk about that. What about Lincoln particularly?
Lincoln are a good squad. They're a good side. They've got good players. They're strong in this league. They know the league very well, and it's surprising to kind of see them down there. Although 6 points after 5 games, you could probably say with perfect utility that it's very early in the season.
Absolutely, yeah.
So,
it's an early surprise.
I would naturally extend that to us as well. Although you look at that top, us, Peterborough, Portsmouth, Sheffield Wednesday, Bolton, and Derby. These are the teams that will be up there at the end of the season. I just hope to fucking Christ that we're also one of them. Pardon my language.
No, Tom?
I can't quite see the relegation spot on there, but Wickham conceding 8 goals really surprises me based on the shithousery we've had to deal with over the past few seasons with them. Usually better drilled than that. What we got done it? I mean, Burton, isn't it, at the minute? Yeah, I'm sorry?
MK's a surprise.
That is a surprise. Yeah, it is a big surprise. I think they will pick up. They won't be down there for the season, but yeah, I'll lump for Wickham in the middle, just sat there. I think they would have ground out a few more draws usually because of the way they play. But yeah, it's really interesting to see how the top 8 looks. It's probably teams we'd expect to be in and around there. Whether they can all sustain it that's the biggest challenge for us all, isn't it?
That's the thing, isn't it? You're 5 games in, you're halfway to that point of right now, look at the league table. But for 5 games in, 2 surprises for me is what you both brilliantly said there. It's the fact that the top 8 it is so big team heavy already. It's like the big teams have really come out of the gate ready to roll, and the punches are flying. Because obviously earlier season could have made for us a more sluggish start for some sides who are slow off the mark, still in that pre-season mindset. Hasn't happened as an extent yet, but for me, Exeter 5 games, 7 points, 2 defeats in their last 3. Yes, is that the wobble, but still 7 points at this point, and the goals they've scored. That's a little surprise for me because not many teams gave a team like Exeter Report Val that much of a chance of many, if any, results. So I mean, they've already won. Looking at the league table, 2 games. I wonder what the over and the under on winning 5 all year would have been for a team like Exeter. So that's a mini early surprise for myself. But we're done. 1 hour and 3 minutes. Do not forget Cruncher.
Where are you up to, Crunch? I think about 5 minutes ago it was £8.95.
About £900 we were up to a second ago. By the way, £2.50 from Neil Post. Thanks very much, Neil. We're all together as some players working for each other. Appreciate you, Neil. Hope you're well, our West Country friend. About £900, I think he is at. Just if you can support him, obviously. £8.95. A great. We'll call it 900. I'll throw a £5 in myself. Don't tell the wife. But we'll keep at it, ladies and gentlemen. If you do want to join our Discord, become a YouTube member. There'll be more information on there. There's all sorts on there. And I'm off to watch the last 17 minutes of House of Dragon.
Nice.
I hope it's a good climax the same way. This has been a fantastic show. Tom, great to have you back on the platform. Are you looking forward to Barnes? Are you coming down for it? Are you going to travel on a ferry abroad to watch it? What's the situation?
What am I doing this week? No, I'm just out drinking in Nottingham. I booked my hotel for the Cheltenham game, so I'm coming down for that one in November, I think. So I'll see some of you there.
It'll be cold in November, but good, man. We'll look forward to seeing you. Ben, I saw a beautiful post on social media. regards you
Did
and your
you?
young family. I'm so excited still
When was
for
that?
you.
What, today?
Doesn't matter what it was, but just remember, a great name for a child is Martin.
It is a good name. We actually have the name sorted, and we're not telling a soul. You never hear it anywhere. But the clue was the only place I've ever heard this boy's name has been in an Ipswich squad in the last 5 or 6 years.
Oh, so it's not
But
Marco
no.
Holster. Kevin Brew. Brew Adams. Brew Adams.
He looks at maybe look a bit like Kevin Brew or kind of.
That wasn't what I was going for, but Brew.
Matteo.
Matteo.
Yeah. Ain't gonna be Caden, put it that way.
We could do a sweepstake on this, right? So, town player names from the last 5 years that you feel, Ben. Yes, Caden, absolutely.
It ain't me, Stephen. It ain't Caden, Mike D. Real obscure squad player. Came in with a lot of. No, I'm not going to do it. Actually, no.
No, don't give too much away. Thank you.
Is it a first name or a last name?
First name.
Oh, get the sweepstakes in. Carry the conversation on our Discord if you remember. Until Wednesday, 8:30. Myself and Lewis will be joining. We'll be sitting down to preview Shrewsbury. If there's a signing, I will get a third member in. But unless it's a signing, I think me and Lewis can handle the Shrewsbury. No, not Shrewsbury. Am I a time traveller? Have I gone back in time? I mean, Barnsley, the return of a certain striker. But until Wednesday, 8:30, hit the like button. Every like I hear is a prayer for Wes Burns and his groin. Can't say it's officially the case, but I hear it's a big rumour, huge if true. So hit the like button. He's the big fish. That's the Milktray man. Get the sweepstakes in. Subscribe. FCA Content Awards. Vote for us, please. People.
You make me smile when I think of you. If I get down low and I get blue, I can't get enough. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. Oh, please, lover. I woke up all soaked in sweat, with chills running down my neck. I'm going crazy from just the thought of you.